Hello everybody, today I'm going to show you how to use my application I have built called Employee Tracker. In order to do this, you're going to want to travel to my GitHub. It's github.com/ajcuddyback as shown here. Then you're going to go to my repositories, and then you're going to come in here to Employee Tracker. Here you're going to go ahead and click this green code button. This is going to be able to download the code necessary to run this application. You're going to use HTTPS and just copy this link right here. We're then going to go ahead and open a bash window and type in git clone and paste in that link. Go ahead and type enter. It's not going to clone into it. As you can see, we're in the desktop folder. We need to travel to Employee Tracker. To make sure that you are in the correct file, make sure that you either see this main or you can even type git branch. And if you see main here, then you know that you've done right. Let's go ahead and clear our terminal, just clean things up. And in order to run this program, there's a few things that you're going to need to install first. Just make sure you have Node on your system. You can just type node-v just to make sure you have it. I'm using 14.15.1 of Node. If you don't have it, go ahead and install it through Node's website. You just type it into Google, node.js, and it'll take probably the first link you'll take you to Node. Just install it, and you can come back to this video and continue on. So now that we have Node installed, we're going to go ahead and type in npm install in order to install the dependencies for this project. And once all of the dependencies are fully installed, we're going to go ahead and set up our database pretty much. So make sure you also have MySQL downloaded on your local machine, just so you're able to use this. It won't work without MySQL on your machine. So after you've finished, downloading MySQL Server and whatnot, we can go ahead and begin going into the CLI to populate the database. So let's go ahead and do that now. We're going to type in mysql-u root-p. You're going to enter a password that you created when installing it. Go ahead and insert mine. And now we are in the CLI for MySQL. In order to populate the database along with the tables, the empty tables for it, you're going to want to type in db slash, it's going to be source db slash schema dot sql. Let me type schema correctly. Schema.sql. You'll see this right here. Just make sure everything says OK, and then you'll know that everything is correctly installed. So now that we have the schema, all the database, you could technically skip along to the video in order to begin the software, but this part is completely optional and up to you. I would recommend it. You can pretty much just type in source db slash c.sql, and this will give you pretty much a database pre-populated for you. It'll give you some employees, the roles and departments, if you want to just test this application out. If not, I would just skip this step and move on, just so that you can create your own database pretty much with your own roles and departments. So let's go ahead and type that in now. You should see everything's okay. This will populate our pre-employees that I'll show you in a sec. Once you finish these steps, you can type in quit, and this will leave the MySQL CLI and take us back to bash. Let's go and type that now. Now we are back into our bash in our main directory. Now, in order to run this program, you're going to want to type in, let's first clear this out, type in node index. Now, as you can see, it's going to ask you, what would you like to do? There's a few different things we would like to do. Since we use the seed SQL, if you did do that, if you click view all employees, a table will show all the different employees that are already pre-populated for you. As you can see, we have their IDs, their first name, last name, role, salary, their manager, and their legal sales or engineering department. So here, if it shows null, don't worry about that. It's not an error or anything. That just means, hey, either they don't have a manager or they are a manager indeed. So as you can see, Jerry is a legal team lead. He is a manager, and Jerry, he's in charge of this of the legal team. So he, is in charge of all these lawyers right here, which are appointed to him. So let's go ahead. We can see, as you can see, we can view all employees. We can even view them by department. So, for example, let's say you want to see them all by a legal department or sales department, or whatever department you decide to create. You can click Enter, and you can view by different department. So let's view all of them by the sales department. As you can see, we have Alex, Peter, and Susie, and John, which match up to here as the sales, and that is our sales team pretty much. We can also view by manager. So let's say we want to view all of Pete's employees. So he is in charge of Alexis and Mason, as you see here, which match up to this table as well, Pete, Alex, and Mason. Or Alexis, I'm sorry. All right, so that's how you're going to be able to view them. Now, let's say you didn't use the SQL file, and you decided to create your own departments and whatnot. Before you do anything, obviously, if you view all employees, you're not going to get a single table. The table's probably just going to say null all around. There's not going to be anything in there. They'll just be empty tables. So we need to populate this stuff on our own. To do that, you're going to go ahead and first add a department. It's important to add the department first. That way you have a role to assign to a department. So let's go ahead and add a department. Our department is going to be called coding in this case. Let's type that in now. And if we were to view departments right here, we can confirm that yes, coding is indeed in here now. Let's go ahead and now add a role to these departments. So we can go ahead and view the roles right now. As you can see, there's nothing for coding because we haven't created a role for coding. And you have to create a role for, appoint a role to an employee. So let's go ahead and add a role. We're going to go ahead and add a front end developer role. And the salary for this front end developer is going to be 70,000. And he's going to be in the coding department. Let's go ahead and add one more role for, the person who manages the front end team. So let's go ahead and type in front end lead. So he's going to be in charge of the front end development. We're going to put his salary as 120,000 and put him under the coding department. As you can see, if we were to view roles now, there's actually two in the coding with their salary and a front-end developer role and a front-end lead role. Now, once you've done that and added your roles and departments that you would like, based off of that, we can go ahead and add employees to these roles. So let's go ahead and first add a manager. So our manager is going to be called Jake, and his last name is going to be called McRyan, I suppose. And he is going to be our front-end developer. Whoops, I accidentally made it. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to fix this in a sec. So right now, this is supposed to be our manager role, which is supposed to be front-end lead, but we're gonna go ahead and fix this in a sec. So it's gonna say here is your employee's role manager position. For right now, obviously Jake is a manager, so we're gonna put yes right here by just typing in Y. And if we were to view all employees, we now have Jake McRyan as a front-end developer, and currently he is a manager, but as you see, he has the wrong role. We have a thing in place in order to update this. We just click Update Employee Role. Let's go ahead and select Jake McRyan. As you can see here, we have Jake McRyan, and he is going to be, instead of a front-end developer, he'll be front-end lead. Now, if we were to view all employees again, as you see, it has changed to a front-end lead now. So now he is the correct, thing, and he has the correct salary. So that's good. Now we're going to go ahead and add one more employee to the front-end developers. So let's go ahead and add him as Irina, I guess. We'll make it a woman. And last name, Jameson, I suppose. She is going to be a front-end developer. And obviously, she's not going to be a manager at the moment. She's just a front-end developer. So we're going to type in N for no. And we're going to put her under Jake because Jake is the front-end lead here. If we were to view all employees, as you can see, Jake's the manager of Irina Jameson, and she is a front-end developer making 70,000 a year. And if we were to do it by department, or by manager, as you can see, we can filter out Irina. Last thing I would like to show you is to view the totalized budget. So this pretty much means, say you want to know how much you're spending in your legal department right now, based on the amount of employees you have and their, salaries. We can click View Totalized Budget. Let's go ahead and click that. Click Legal, and as you see, $590,000 is being legal. And if you were to add this up, you can double check just to make sure that it's working correctly. Obviously, it is. It's 590,000 when you add it up. You can do them to any of the ones that you want. And that will pretty much conclude what you can do with this application at the moment. Once you're done, you can click I am finished, hit Control C, and you will completely end your application. Just to show you that, everything's still going to be saved in here, you can always type in node index again, view all employees, and as you see, Irina and Jake, the ones that we just made with their coding department, is still there. And that will officially conclude how this application runs. Thank you for watching, and have a great day, guys.